Hi YouTube, I want to talk about Tyler Perry on 60 Minutes tonight. I didn't know he was going to be on there. I caught it online. I had a debate with three people today about what Spike Lee had recently said about Tyler Perry's movies, Medea, Meet the Browns, or CONNERY and BAFFONEry. Their argument was that, well, it serves no purpose to have Medea and meet the Browns, and it should just end there basically. But my argument is the fact that there's a reason and rhyme behind everything that Tyler Perry has done. When I saw the interview, I was right. He uses Medea and he uses the Mr. Brown as a bait to pull you in, because he's able to talk about faith, love, everything, betrayal, lies, cheating. He's able to talk about that through those other characters to get you in. And once you're in there, you find ups and downs, and you find simplicities that people really don't do too much in film nowadays. You might say Tyler Perry is simple. He doesn't have a creative type of way of making movies. His movies are fast, and they come out back to back to back. But what you can say about Tyler Perry is that he's not trying to do that. He's not trying to do those type of serious dramas and things like that. He's trying to do things his way that he could do. As far as just his style and his characters, they are simple. They have simple stories. That's why people can't actually relate to them. His movies are number one because he has a built-in fan base from plays. And if you've seen any of his plays, you'll see that, a lot of dramatics are there in the plays that he just translated to film. It doesn't really change the essence of the character. So through film, it can actually look more, more dramatic, more outlandish, and things like that. But it's really the messages that he has. He has so many good messages, forgiveness, reconciliation, all of those things are in there. I believe that, and that's why I enjoy the films. They're funny too. He does comedy. Comedy is his medium of choice. Now, Spike Lee, on the other hand, I've seen most of all of Spike Lee's movies. My favorite is Do the Right Thing. I've seen that movie alone about 30 times. But he's not the one that inspired me to be a screenwriter. It was actually John Singleton. John Singleton shot Boys in the Hood at my school, in my classroom, one of the beginning scenes. He later then gave me a scholarship many years later. And as far as just following in his footsteps, John Singleton solely, wholeheartedly inspired me to want to be a screenwriter. As far as Spike Lee, I understand his status as an icon, a director. He's done a lot of great movies that I've loved. He's did School Days, then Do the Right Thing, Jungle Fever, Miracle on St. Anna, those type of movies, Malcolm X. But there's something I want to talk about. It's the audience. I'm a fan of Tyler Perry and Spike Lee. I've been able to distinguish what they do differently. But what pisses me off when I hear Spike Lee make a comment about Tyler Perry's movies that is totally, I can see his point, but when he ends it there and he doesn't explain what Tyler movies all about, that lets me know that Spike Lee doesn't know what Tyler Perry movies are all about and why it captures the audience. The character Medea, a lot of people have somebody in their family that has elements of Medea in there. My grandma was like a Medea. Her mother was like a Medea. My grandma took the whole house, took care of everybody, took care of her children's children, took care of people that needed help. My grandmother told wisdom. She had good stories from her upbringing her mother was more outlandish. Her mother had 15 children that she had to deal with 7 boys and 8 girls. So she was definitely a Medea, and if there was a time a shotgun needed to be displayed, it was in the South to handle all of those kids. Now that's just one aspect of it. They was always fed. They always had food, and this was fresh food. This was food that was skinned, cut, and cooked, all in the same afternoon. So I think that Spike Lee's comments are a little out of pocket, only because me being a fan of Spike Lee and a fan of Tyler Perry, to me, when Spike Lee says coonery and buffoonery, you have to think about it. Black people did not name ourselves or mention that in reference to ourselves. Black people didn't invent that word coonery and buffoonery. We were not called that by ourselves. You could fill in the blanks. Black people did not call each other coons and buffoons. We didn't invent those words. So for him to say that about Tyler Perry, who are you concerned about pleasing? What audience are you concerned about pleasing? Because if my grandmother was like a Medea, she sure took me to see Malcolm X 4 times and support your movie. When I saw Girl 6, I did not like that movie. That was not one of my favorite movies. I actually thought it was terrible. But I paid to see that. Then, let's see, Jungle Fever. Then you have, like I said, I've already seen Do the Right Thing at least 30 or 40 times. So that's one of my favorite movies. But when it comes down to just what you've done and Tyler Perry done, you have totally different styles. But you haven't always shown blacks in the best light as well. If you want to, say that about Tyler Perry, you haven't shown all the essences of blacks. The audience that goes to see you is the Tyler Perry audience. I have a movie coming out called Undone, and a movie called Downgrade that we're doing as well. I'm co-starring, I'm directing it, I'm co-directing. I wrote it, I wrote both of them, and I also have a blog called funnyinink.com, and I'll have that information up on the credits, and definitely I'll keep you posted. Thank you so much. Peace.